The panel has graciously said that they would take questions. If anybody would like to come up to the microphone here, Karen in the back has a microphone. There's also cards on your table. If you're not comfortable asking the question yourself, you can just fill the card out, raise it, and someone will pick it up and bring it up to us.
I'm curious, did you say that you had another another thrombosis while you were on the Coumadin?
Yeah, I did have a total of 4 DVTs that were serious enough to have me in the hospital. I did have those on Coumadin. They did have Lovenox in when I was about 30, so I took the Coumadin once a day and then 2 shots of Lovenox. And after another DVT, then they raised my Lovenox level up. And I guess the thing I would just add to that very quickly is that, I got in to see Mark Redding last November or so, and we pulled both of those out and added a different drug, which has really been working very well for me. And, he made me keenly aware of the fact that the risk factors for bleeding increase as I get older. I'm no doctor, I'm an engineer, but I don't want to have that issue either. So, in my particular circumstance, it was, how do you mitigate the risk? Both kind of put the happy medium in there, if you will.
My question is focused on the women and pregnancy with the blood thinners. What kind of effects have you had, like after the fact, and you're still on blood thinners now? And do you have any?
Yep. Well, I ended up very fortunately being a candidate for stenting. In that an interventional radiologist on 2 occasions was able to go in and basically stent. I have 3 stents in my left pelvic area, basically opening up the vein for allowing more blood flow through. I don't have a genetic predisposition to clotting that we've found, at least, or that we're aware of. So for me, it's a matter of remaining on Coumadin for the reason that I don't have perfect flow, and as I understand it, neither do most people who have a clot, because as we learned about the absorption of the clot, I think many of us probably know or understand at least that there is an imperfect now vein wall where the clot once was, potentially impeding blood flow to varying degrees. So for me, I've stayed on the blood thinner for 18 months. I feel incredibly fortunate that I've been pretty much symptomless, and I too am very active and enjoy fitness, and in fact highly recommend it as a way to recover emotionally even and mentally and from a stress level from having a blood clot. And it's just all the more reason to try to stay healthy, of course, when you're recovering from this. But so as far as the side effects, fortunately for me, they've been far and few in between. But one thing I personally do, I've labeled myself a blood clot evangelist now, and my coworkers are sick of me, put it that way. They are absolutely sick of me. So I'm glad all of you are willing to be here and listen, and hopefully we all can go out together and annoy more people. But, this as I understand it, and again, I'm no doctor either, so I feel like I need to have this disclaimer, but I've read up on or try to at least, the effects of Coumadin, long-term Coumadin therapy, and osteoporosis. And as I understand it, that the medical community does not yet fully understand the effects of long-term anticoagulation and osteoporosis, but there have been, as I understand it, some studies that point to some connectivity. So if you're a female, and especially if you're female, and if you have a history of osteoporosis, or even if you don't, and you are on long-term anticoagulation, it really stands to reason that you have to do all that you can to get your calcium intake and eat your greens, even though I know some people don't eat their greens when they're on Coumadin. I'd argue eat them and eat them often because they're all vital to your bone health. And so I'm nervous about the long-term side effect, but fortunate and count my blessings in the here and now that I don't have major complications.